Welcome to the Money GPS. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. This is big. It's important because it will affect you directly, and that is number one, what's happening with energy prices, particularly in the EU. And I'm going to show you why this is about to get a lot worse. The second thing we need to look at is Elon Musk on inflation, what he had to say. I'm also going to show you what Deutsche Bank is looking at for the near future. The third thing is the stock market trustworthy. Of course, you could look at what the analysts have to say, and I'll show you how that has been completely inaccurate. All of that and more. Let's begin by taking a look at this. Energy debt owed by UK families could leap 50%. According to these CEOs, number of households falling behind on payments will surge. That has already happened, but it will actually continue to get worse. 40% of the people go into fuel poverty when the cap raised again. So I'm going to show you the chart in a second here, but here you will look at what is happening. Families are struggling. We are watching this all over the place. I have seen your comments down below. It is heartbreaking, to say the least, to see this over and over and over again, where we enter a period of inflation and people get hurt. The amount of money owed by customers is expected to be 50% higher by year's end. The UK's cap on energy prices surged to a record on April 1st for 22 million people, and it's predicted to increase again. That could put 40% of the population in fuel poverty. Have you ever heard of fuel poverty? But no, right now, we are getting that. Come October, it's going to be horrific, truly horrific. The size and scale of this is beyond what I can deal with, beyond what I think the industry can deal with. It needs a massive shift, significant for the government to approach this. Looking at this, you could see the UK, natural gas futures, which have gone up here. They put the caps in place, but the general direction has been higher and higher. What they want to do is they want more government intervention, but it's not resolving the underlying issues. More money is going into the green technologies, wind and solar, but right now we have seen more demand from coal, from natural gas, from oil-based products, like anything, right? Not that solar and wind that certainly hasn't been able to keep up. Some $115 million are urgently needed to prevent a further deterioration of the food insecurity situation and worsening of the disruption of the food supply chains in Ukraine. There is urgency to support Ukrainian farmers in planting vegetables and potatoes during the spring season. It goes on. Okay, this is the FAO saying this. And you look at it, and what they believe is going to be Ukraine being a place of much abundance when we're talking about grains. And there's going to be much less planting happening this year. What does that mean? You look around the world, whoever's importing from Ukraine is going to be in big trouble. Now they've got to look for other partners. So they go around the world and they start to say, okay, we're going to take some from you, we're going to take some from you. And of course, what does that do to the supply and demand fundamentals? Pushes them way out of whack. So the whole world is going to be feeling this. Rising fertilizer costs are catching up to the rice farmers, threatening supplies. So this is also affecting the rice farmers. You could see that farmers are dealing with inflated costs and subdued rice prices. So you look through here, from India to Vietnam and the Philippines, prices of crop nutrients crucial to boosting food production have doubled or tripled in the last year alone. Lower fertilizer may mean a smaller crop, and you will see that yields could drop 10%, translating to a loss of 36 million tons of rice, or the equivalent of feeding 500 million people. That's a conservative estimate, apparently. You know where this is coming from, and you see where it's going. Apparently, China's strict lockdowns are exacerbating serious shortages of fertilizer, labor, and seeds, just as many of the country's biggest agricultural provinces prepare for their crucial spring planting season. You can go on and on and on. It's the same thing all over the place. Fertilizer's a problem. Food is a problem. Energy's a problem. Do you get it? I know you do. Okay? If you appreciate this information and how I look up into this every single day, look into it every single day, hit that thumbs up button. Okay? It's right down there. It's one click. All of this seems to be going on all over the world. It's not just one country. It's not just Ukraine. It's not just Russia. Look around. Look around. It's going to impact everybody. Italy puts a 25 Celsius limit on air conditioning as Ukraine crisis forces energy rationing. Operation Thermostat is aimed at helping the country avert shortages and ministers sign a gas deal with Angola. Schools and other public buildings in Italy will be forbidden from setting their air conditioning to any setting lower than 25 Celsius from next month. I believe that's 25C being Celsius, under a scheme intended to help the country dodge an energy crisis exacerbated by what's happening with Ukraine. I don't know. I really don't know if this is all going to be something that, they're going to be able to accomplish. We'll see. U.S. LNG, liquid natural gas exports to Europe have surged. Isn't that interesting? The U.S. to Europe. Why is this going on? Part of the reason is because they're trying to wean off of Russia. That could be very beneficial to the United States. We will see if that continues, okay? Then we look at this next factor. I'm going to show you what Elon Musk had to say. Now, it doesn't really matter what Elon Musk says in this case here regarding inflation, but it's important that we listen to everybody, okay, not just one person. I think the official numbers are actually understating the true magnitude of inflation, and inflation appears to be likely to continue for at least the remainder of this year. Isn't that what we've said here? You and I have both said the same thing, and now we're getting it from Elon Musk. He goes on, but you see that it's affecting the company directly, okay? This is Deutsche Bank. They get into everything. There's this, and there's the next one just showing you what's happening to prepare for a hard landing. Not a soft landing, a hard landing. So if you want to pause the video or you want to look into the links are in the description below. It basically just shows you the central bank, the economy, key themes, and so on. It's everything we've been covering here. Higher inflation, tightening from the Fed, and so on. When you look at the hard landing, you can see the world. This basically breaks it down in different areas. And then you see the second column, which is the view being for the world. Outlook moving in a stagflationary direction. For the US, growth to be resilient in the near term, but the Fed tightening to ultimately trigger a recession. Okay, and I want to see where this goes. You and I, of course, need to know each and every detail, but I do believe that what we are seeing right now cannot be avoided. You can't print up corn, okay? You can't print wheat. It just doesn't work like that. And so the solution at the end of all this, are you ready for it? If not, definitely skip ahead, okay? I'm telling you right now, what they want to do, and I've seen this over and over and over again, I talked about it 1,000 times before. What they want to do is to actually issue currency directly. I believe this will come in the form of a central bank digital currency. And they will say, you want your rations? No problem. Sign up for the central bank digital currency. This will be provided, of course, by the Federal Reserve, by the ECB, whatever it might be, but let's say it's the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve is going to give you a beautiful bank account with them directly. And they are going to allow you on their system. You could use that to pay at any retailer that accepts, the digital payments. And therefore, you will be able to live on because they're giving you that level of subsistence. This is what they want. They are going to create a world where many, many people, 80% of the people, perhaps more, are in need or will find it necessary to sign up to their system. Did I go too far? All right. Well, if I offended anybody, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Okay, look at this here. You can see the correlation between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ. This is from March up until the current day. There is a direct correlation. Risk assets right now. Well, what else has been happening? Well, we have seen a lot of these stocks, Netflix being one example. Here's the Netflix stock. If you watched the previous video to this one, I was basically showing you how, you know, it is taking a beating as a result of, losing subscribers and so on. So at that time, it looked like the stock would have been down to about 250, 260. Well, it turns out that it finishes the day at 226. This brings us back into January of 2018. All of the gains from January 2018 up until now, gone, gone. And when people say, oh, this is the future, everybody's going to be streaming online, you see Netflix just devouring everything, that does not necessarily translate into a stock price that might be good, that might be consistently outperforming, and so on. This was just recently. These are all the analysts, okay? Buy, outperform. They're all saying this. It's from BMO and JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and so on. All of this, you go down the list. These are all from 2022. Buy, outperform, this and that. Look at this. Jim Cramer, back in earlier in the year, beginning of the year, basically. Yeah, January 3rd, there it is. Netflix, buy. And then there's this. Jim Bianco says the world needs an inverse Cramer ETF more than it needs a spot BTC ETF. Well, what happened? Well, you look at this. JP Morgan, UBS, Goldman, so on. All of them have brought down their ratings. All of them. Either neutral or sell, because now the stock has just crashed big time in a short period of time. So they're kind of saying, maybe some of them are saying, well, how much lower can it go? Well, I wouldn't want to take that bet, but it's up to you. Anyway, this is an interesting site. So on that previous Twitter post, somebody said, hey, I've already created this type of index. And you could see it. Look, current index, if you could see that, yeah, you should be able to. Current index ETF returns. Pro Cramer is minus 13%. Short Cramer is 2.27%. So there's a big gap in there. The Congress ETF, so what Congress is buying, that's up 11%. And Pelosi up 18%. It's an interesting website. This is unusualwhales.com. That link will be in the description, okay? Just check it out, okay? You can see for yourself, looking at all this. It actually gives you like all the details. Really cool. Site seems to be free. They probably have some paid level to it anyway, but I just want to bring that to you, have a little fun with it, just to show you that there are major risks, that you can't always take the same path. When I was talking back in 2020, hey, look at commodities, sell your 7 shares of Amazon and buy 7 2x4s, I was still getting all the hate, and including basically every day, still getting all the hate, but I was talking about these things. I was basically saying, take your blinders off. Netflix and Peloton and all these things, they're going up and up and up and up, and that is not sustainable. People were saying, no, it is sustainable. This is the future and so on. But if you would have bought those 7 2x4s, those 2x4s would have given you some good returns. It's just the way it is. You can look around you and see it for yourself. I hope you appreciate the information. If you do, hit that thumbs up button. That's how you support the channel, simply by clicking the like button. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.